Good morning, Rabbi Sai. I think we could do a little bit better. How you doing, Rabbi Stefansky? How you doing? Can we do a little better, after? Rabbi Sai over here. These guys over here. Just let's hear them. Let's go. Good morning, Rabbi Sai. For Sunday morning, new. We have a very chashuv guest. You're Yankov Gross, yeah? How do I know? Brought me a picture here, all the way from. I'm not going to say what this is about. There's a baby here in the picture. I don't want it to get to my head, so we're not going to talk about it right now. No, say there. Listen, this gets to my head. Last night, there was a 10-year-old kid that came to this year, and his father sponsored the pizza and wine because his son didn't miss a single day in 100 days. 10-year-old kid. And now I want to read this one email and then an announcement. Greetings, Shalom Rebelli. Some months ago, I sent you an email telling you that having attempted and failed several times over many years to learn Gemara, I found MDY purely by chance and have since Ksubis not missed a day. You hear this? Since Ksubis, he hasn't missed a day. I live in Bournemouth. Yeah, I know it's not mouth, but I wanted to. It says mouth. Bournemouth. On the south coast of England, and almost every day watch the live shear at 5:10 a.m. If I miss it, I catch up on YouTube later in the day. I don't turn the camera, and I'm always muted as my wife is still sleeping, but I'm there daily. Today's Sunday, Chav Gimel Adar, marks my 1,000th consecutive day of MDY Daf Yomi. Rabbi Sai, a big round of applause. 1,000 days. 1,000 consecutive days of learning Torah. I cannot believe it, but here I am still daily learning. Has MDY changed my life? Well, I now also do Shnayim Mikra since the beginning of Shemois. I now stand during Chazar Sashatz. I now ensure that I do not speak during Kaddish. So has MDY changed my life? You decide. But in my humble opinion, you bet it has. Until I was 68 years old, I have never learned Talmud and never studied Torah on a regular basis. And now, as I approach my 71st birthday, I'm at last beginning to feel fulfilled that I'm achieving something very worthwhile. This came, mamish, at the perfect time. Came this morning. I just saw it moments before I came to this year. I have a long way to go, but you have put me on the right road. Thank you. I have 3 ambitions. I am going to need this. One is to be at the Siyum next time you're in London. It is my goal to hold my own Siyum in Bournemouth on the south coast of England where I live. And it is a major hope, Bezrat Hashem, when health allowing, that I'm next in Israel to visit MDY and attend the morning shir. Can't wait for that. Thank you from the very depths for changing my life. Listen to this name. Avraham Ben Yitzchak Yaakov. Barry from Bournemouth, UK. It truly is geschmack to do the daf. Boy Sai, just a few days ago we announced MDY Yeshiva. MDY Yeshiva is a yeshiva where we learn the daf b'iyun. It's another option for Bachrim, those who might not enjoy iyun the whole day. Another option. We had over 100 inquiries in the last week. Over 100 inquiries. We hired 6 people. Without soliciting from anyone, we raised over $600,000. $600,000 donated from people from the shir that felt like giving back to the shir. A few days ago, Noam and I, we went to Gedolim to speak it over. We had some shilas. And they both said it's extremely necessary. One of them actually told us a very strong lashon. He said that in his estimation, this is his words, you can ask Noam, he believes that over 40% of Bachrim in Yeshiva are not doing anything. And that this would be a tremendous help and Hatzlacha for Klal Yisrael, he said, Hatzlacha. At the same time, though, he said that it's not the right time to open it. So, Memela, Keshem shemekabim schar ala drisha, kach mekabim schar ala prisha. Sometimes you get schar for darshaning the esem in the Torah, and sometimes you get schar for stepping back. When Reb Chaim Volozhiner came to ask the Vilna Gaon about opening up his yeshiva, and by the way, that yeshiva, they did a daf a day until the day it closed. It was the original yeshiva, and that was the Messiah, that was the Daf day. He told him, no, you're not opening now. And when he came back a few years later, he said, okay, now's the right time to open. MDY Yeshiva is not dead. We're putting it on the shelf. When the right time comes, whenever that is, whenever the Gedolim say go ahead and open, that's when we'll do it. Right now, we're going to double down on our efforts here in MDY. I want to thank Reb Noam Fix for putting in hundreds of hours, hundreds of his neshama. All those bacharim. My wife asked me on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, she said, what's wrong with your eyes? I told her, I was crying for a few hours. And I was. It's very sad. It's sad that I know for a fact there are bacharim out there that really would enjoy this and really would appreciate this and would change their lives. Like this guy. There's no difference between a bachar who's 18, 19 years old and a 32-year-old. It's the same person. The idea was to chop them before they become 32 years old. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu has his plans, and we take it ba'ahava, we understand it. And Be'ezer Hashem, when the time comes, it will come. So you Bachrim, hold on tight. Do well in your yeshiva. And I have to thank, there are two people in this room that we hired, and they might go on with us to other things, but I have to apologize to them for getting their hopes high. And the Be'ezer Hashem, we'll do better and bigger. We have to thank the secretary that we hired. Mamish hired people. They were working. You know what it is to go through 100 emails and setting up interviews and Zooms and speaking to parents. Anyway, so Psuras Toivas, Akol Min HaShamayim, and we're going to learn a bunch of Torah now. Yishkar for hearing and Yishkar for understanding. Time will come. We're holding a Daf Tzadik Hey. Oh, I have to do the sponsors. It was not Pasha. Masech the sponsors, lirfo shleima Shmuel Ben Chana Ettel and Yosef Chaim Shmuel Ben Alte Nechama. No, stop. I gotta say a shir here. By the grateful family, anonymous, for the Hatzlacha, Berukhniyos, ובגשמיות. Larry Cohn in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim who started learning Daf Yomi at age 70 and continued for 32 years until he was nifter, anonymous to the unity of the Jewish people. Glenn Esterson, don't look over here, Nachman. Don't look over here. What?
I'm starting to cry myself. Look at you.
I'm not taking it easy. One of these Gdolim that I spoke to, he actually contacted me yesterday. And he said, I thought about it. You were going to spend all this time. I said, no, I wasn't going to spend time. No one's going to do the whole thing in other people. I said, no, you were going to sit in meetings and you were going to this and it's going to take up some of your time, right? I said, yeah. He said, okay, now I want you to say your Yerushalmi share every day instead. I'm like, no, not going to happen, but okay. Well, we are going to hear. Rabbi Stefansky is here, second cousin. Just by chance, I happened to speak to him. I told him about my grand plan of retention, of holding people that come to the shir in the beginning, the first few months at least, hold on to them, make sure they don't fall off. And his friend was here, another guy that he knew him once. What's his name? Moshe? Belas, from Petach Tikva, who's been already 3 times. And we decided we're going to go stark. We're going to do these groups. We're going to bring in all these people for Margit Beis Hashem. We're going to hold on to them. Make sure they don't fall off. Double down our efforts on the people that we already have. One of the ideas was, we never did this before. They're going to get a free Gemara. Whoever starts Margit gets a free Gemara. But whoever finishes Margit, only 23 days, we'll get another Gemara. We'll get Shavuos. So hopefully we'll be in touch with them, not let them fall off the bandwagon. Anonymous for the unity of the Jewish people. Glenn Esterson, with love and gratitude from Wilmington NC, Baruch's taking all these tears, putting them away for the next yeshiva when it comes. Thank you for enriching my life with Torah. Monthly sponsors, Eli Stefansky Ben Moshe, Eli Stefansky Bas Yosef, Binyomin Rosenfeld, Hatzlacha Parnasa, Yosef Ben Chaya Sara, Hatzlacha Berוחnיות, ובגשמיות, Eli Stefansky the fallen hostages, Ariel ben Shiri, Kfir ben Shiri, Shiri bat Margit, Parnasa berevach, Baruch Tzvi Nisim ben Shoshana Leah, and by actualize, Parnassah Chodesh, for the Koilol, Yaakov ben Sara, Mishpachti, Lebrach Hatzlacha, one daily sponsor, Lahatzlacha Ulivracha. MDY Kids Monthly Innovations, Chus for Fischel, Chonon Akiva, Rivki, and Mrs. Stefansky Shekoyach. The art of the month, Refu Shleim for Yonatan Itam ben Basheva, for schus for Eli, huh? Oh. Before Shneima, 4. Yehonatan Eitan ben Basheva Bracha.
Correcting you on the sponsors. You missing a word on the sponsors.
No, it's good. But Akash Baruch Hu knows he is young guy in his 40s. For his chus for Eli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. In honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do. Tremendous yishkoyach. Think about it. A bunch of guys giving so much money without being asked. So yishkoyach gadol to you. Money's returned. Be'ezer Hashem, you'll do beautiful things with that money. Zok the Gemara. We're holding like 10 lines from the bottom. So when Sanhedrin came with 2.6 billion soldiers, whether it's a Guzma or it's a exact, and they all died. But it says in the pasuk they woke up in the morning and they saw that everybody's dead. So who woke up? Who woke up in the morning? Rav Amah Sara. 10 of them woke up. Shneimar. Usharitz Yari Mispor Yu V'nar Yichtevim. A lad will write it. Kamanar Yochel Lichtov Asara. What could a small child write? The letter Yud. Small little letter. Shmuel Amar Tisha. It's 9. Shneimar V'nishar Boy Oilez Kenokiv Zayis. It says Shnayim Shloisha Gargim B'Roi Shomer. We're not going to go with the Shnayim Shloisha right now. Arba Chamisha B'Sifel. 4 plus 5 equals 9. So you have to take all the numbers in the pasuk. Shneimar. Shnayim Shloisha Arba Chamisha. That's 14. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Chamisha. Not from this pasuk. It's only 5 people woke up. Sanhedrin v'shnei banav. First, Sanhedrin and his 2 sons is 3. Nebuchadnezzar ben Nebuzaradan. We'll see. Nebuchadnezzar and Nebuzaradan. Nebuzaradan is the one who actually destroyed the Beis Hamikdash. Nebuchadnezzar was the king. And Nebuzaradan Gemara. We know Nebuzaradan was there. That we learn from tradition. Nebuchadnezzar the Chsiv. V'revei the Reviyah Domi leBarilon. It says that the 4th one is similar to a malach. V'lav the Chazium Navi Yoda. If he wasn't there, where's that picture? Oh, yeah, I don't have it here. Okay. Maybe, Avremi, I don't know if you can take from the daf before and put it in here. It's the one with the big tower. The one, yeah?
There's going to be sirens shortly. If there is, just...
Yeah. Rabbi say, if there is a siren, everybody walk out slowly, grab one of the elderlies next to you and bring him out slowly. No panicking like in Yeshiva Samir when people panic. Where do we go? We go down the stairs and you go into the building. What? The siren is now? It's not here. You don't have to... Zrizim Magdimim Lemitzvahs. We're going to go weiter. Right now there's no siren. Says the Gemara. Avremi, you got it? You know what I'm talking about? It is? You see it? Torah Magnum Matz. Zog the Gemara. No jokes now. You hear it? It's not here. Okay. It's good. If it comes here, then the Olam in America will understand what this is. So open up the window so we all hear. If Nebuchadnezzar didn't see what a malach looks like when Gabriel came and killed all these people by Sanhedrin, how would he know what a malach looks like? Now, don't think, everybody thinks a malach looks like, hey, he has wings and he's white. No, a malach doesn't look like that. That's just in the storybooks. He might have wings, but we don't see it like that. You have to understand what a malach looks like, and he saw what it was by Gabriel. How do we know Sanhedrin is 2 sons? His 2 sons are Darmelech v'Shar Etzer. We're going to see later a crazy story that happened with Sanhedrin and his 2 sons. If this wasn't mefurish in the pasuk, then it's be usher to say this. You can't say this. What does it say in the pasuk? Hashem himself took a razor and shaved Sanhedrin. You can't talk like that. He shaved the hairs on his leg. And also his beard disappeared. And the Gemara says like this, I remember somebody sitting on the table, his wife asked me, What does Hashem look like? Well, she's trying to give me musar about how I understand Hashem. She says, what do you think? He's an old man up there with a long white beard? Says, you're not allowed to talk like that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared like an old man. Omer Lei, and he tells him, Cherev, you just messed up. You brought millions of soldiers, and they're all dead. What are you going to tell the families when you come back now? Not this one, Tzaddik, not this one. The one with the tower, the fire, flames coming out of the tower. So he says, you killed their sons, my arms. How are you gonna? What are you gonna tell them? It's embarrassing. You should know, I, in third person, he talks to everybody. I, the Rosh Hashiva, I also have a problem. I also have a pachad like this. My pachad is, I don't know what to do. How am I going to tell people about all the deaths? So what should I do, Hashem? Top of Tzadik Vav Medal. Zil v'shani nafshach. Get dressed up. Change the way you look. But my shani, how should I do it? Go bring me scissors and I will shave you. Here, this is the one I want to show you real quickly. That Nebuchadnezzar saw this. He saw the three Shulchan Aruch going into the flame, and he also noticed the Malach. So because he noticed the Malach, then he knew later on there was a Malach. Now in this picture, the Malach looks like a Malach. Huh? Here. Now, that wouldn't be a chachma to say, oh, I saw the Malach, but it doesn't look, that's for us to understand. Where should I get a scissors from? You see that house right over there? Go get it from there. So you went in there. Also, so Malachim ran into the house and they pretended that they were part of the house over there. They were grinding dates here, like this, something like this. The pits of the dates, yeah, pits of dates. I need could I please borrow scissors? You think it's for free? Work a little bit. You have to do Rechaim Shel Yad. If you want to do exercise here in Eretz Yisrael, you could go right now. You go to the matzah bakery, they'll pay you 30 shekel, and you go like this for an hour. You lose weight and you do a mitzvah. And they make 1,000 shekel off of you. V'nitin lach. So you go like this, you have to sit there, grind some dates. So he did a certain amount, and they gave him the scissors. And also, the problem is, it got dark. Hashem tells him, it's interesting, Hashem, he needs light. No, go light a fire. I need some light here. What do you want, a haircut in the dark? So he went and he brought fire. So he's trying to get the fire going, so he starts blowing on the fire. What happened was, the fire caught on his beard. You can imagine the smell, geschmack. And now, he no longer has Hashem shaved his head, and his beard burnt. Here, check out this picture. This is Sanhedrin before, and this is after. If you notice, he even has hair on his arms and his fingers, and then Hashem shaved it all off. His legs, everything. The Chassidim once asked the Rebbe, famous Maisa, the Chassidim asked the Rebbe, why is it that you spend so much time with this geshoyrna, with this guy without a beard? You give him so much attention, you mechazik him. So the Rebbe said, Losid Lavoi, when this guy goes up to Shemayim, you're going to ask him in Shemayim, Yid, where's your beard? But when you guys go up to Shemayim, Hashem is going to say, beard, where's the Yid? Omru. Not a single chassid appreciated that, but I do. I love it. When you singe the beard of an Armenian, Shapirle, and he's okay with it, burn his beard, and if that works, you'll have a lot to laugh on for many, many years. You can laugh and laugh. Sanhedrin goes and he finds a board from the Noach's Teva. And he started worshiping it. The board of Noach's Teva, this is the Teva that saved Noach. This is the great God that saved Noach from the Mabul. So he makes a shvuah to Hashem. If I'll be successful, I'm going to sacrifice my 2 sons to Hashem. So his sons heard this. They killed their own father. So that was the end of Sanhedrin. After he had a very bad day, 2.6 billion of his soldiers died. His beard was burned, singed. He looked like a little funny with his haircut. Then his 2 sons went and killed him. Elikov, Vadar Melech, Vesharetzer, these are his 2 sons, Banov, Hikuhu Becherev. It says by Avraham Avinu that he went to fight the kings, so the word Laila is in a funny place. Why? Because either it should be in the beginning of the pasuk, or it should say, the way you would write it probably, all the way at the end, what's Laila in the middle of a pasuk? In the middle of a sentence. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, 2 pshatim here. Rish Lakish didn't like Rabbi Yochanan's pshat. I'm just forewarning you. He likes Rabbi Yitzchak Nafch's pshat. Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Oisem Malshin is Dam Leila Laila Shemai. It's referring to a malach called Laila. That's why. Laila, Mr. Laila, Malach Laila, who Vavadav and all the and his slave. They went and they fought. Shenem about Laila Omar Hoyragov. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha Omar and Rabbi Yitzchak the blacksmith said, "What's the most popular name in America? Smith. I don't know if it has anything to do with blacksmith, but I guess some sort of smith." He did a night thing. What does that mean? There was a fight with the stars. It was a night thing. I prefer the blacksmith from the son of the blacksmith. Rabbi Yochanan was the son of a blacksmith. I prefer the blacksmith himself rather than Rabbi Yochanan, the son of a blacksmith. And Avram chased him until dawn. It's also, you see this throughout these sugyas, that when Klal Yisrael sins, and when a person sins, it has ramifications for generations later, the place, the name, everything. Everything you do has some sort of effect. So when Avraham Avinu got to Dan, all of a sudden he became weak. Why? He saw that his future generations are going to do Avodah Zarah in Dan. Shenemar, v'yosem eso echad bebeis el, v'eso echad nosem b'dan. Yeravam. Here, this, I'll show you, we just had it a few days ago, but it's Kishmak. Yeravam didn't let Klal Yisrael here. He's blocking them with soldiers. He didn't let Klal Yisrael go up to Yerushalayim. Instead, what did he do? Now it pans over. He put one of these getchkas in Dan. So when Avraham Avinu reached that spot, many, many years before, he felt that this place is a terrible place. This is where they're going to do Avodah Zarah. And he became weak. But listen to this. The Gemara doesn't stop here. For the rest of the sugya, most of the time, we're going to have at least 3 times, they call Oisei Rasha, like you say, you don't want to say the word P-I-G, so you say P-I-G, you say Davar Acher. So they call Nebuchadnezzar Oisei Rasha, that Rasha. We don't even want to mention him. He destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, destroyed Yerushalayim. But listen to this. It works both ways. Nebuchadnezzar. Are you sure? No, but the whole sugya is he's called. It fits. Yeah, I think he made a mistake because Oisei Rasha, you'll see it later on also. It's 100% Nebuchadnezzar. I'm not saying this is 100%, but the rest of the sugya, so they wouldn't call the same person the same name. Listen to this. Yeah, look at the pasuk. Shenemar, you know this pasuk. Shenemar midon nishma nachar susov. They heard the sounds of the horses of Nebuchadnezzar. So, but look at this. On the one hand, Avraham Avinu loses his strength. On the flip side, in the same spot, Nebuchadnezzar gets his strength. He becomes strong. This is where Klal Yisrael did a terrible avera. Poof! You give power to the Rishaim, to the enemy.
This is done. We're in the done area.
Yeah.
Is that Gush Dan?
No, this is not Gush Dan. That's Tel Aviv. No. But you're talking about.
It's this one before it says. Before it says this was the pasuk right before this.
I'm sure, Rabbi Isai, I'm sure, Stam will stop for a second. What happened? A missile came in from Yemen? So anybody that's watching, they'll get nervous. It came in from Yemen and fell where? It didn't come to Eretz Yisrael, they were able to shoot it down?
The pasuk right before is told my sister. I got Mesilas and the Chumam sister. That's the pasuk right before this.
Yeah.
Notice? So, this is right.
No. The famous Gemara that Rabbi Yehuda Mitzudascha Prusa, you're Netzivim, Mitzudascha Prusa B'Shalayim. Rabbi Yehuda Meser lived in Tzivim, and he said three things. This could happen to us. You bump into a Talmid Chacham, somebody that's over bottle, so to speak. He lost his mind. He's old and he has dementia. You have to be very careful with him. You have to give him a lot of covet. He forgot his learning because he's honest. Bizarre bevridim ki Rabbi Yehuda. We know that by shchita you shecht the Cohn and the veshet, the trachea and the esophagus, and you should also, according to Rabbi Yehuda, cut the jugular veins. There's two veins on both sides. I'll show you a picture. By the way, if you don't like this kind of stuff, if your name is Mordechai Weiss, look away. But it's pretty cool, I think. It's kind of gross, but cool. This
Let's
is dead
do
chicken.
one more time of the structures inside the neck.
This is the jugular vein. He's showing you the jugular vein right there.
You can see the right jugular vein. On the right side here we have
That's
the
Shmuel.
cervicus.
But look at this. Look at the Chana on the bottom. It looks like
the dorsal to the trachea.
that's the Chana.
Lower is
The
more
trachea.
to the right side. This is the trachea.
So the kids, you're supposed to go as a shaykh. You have to go through all of it and get the jugular vein, so all the blood is drained. No blood in the chicken. Okay, shkoyach. And he says you should be very careful with the sons of the Amoretz, Shemehem Teitzei Torah, because Torah is going to come out of the kids of the Amoretz. There's once a Rav, who somebody came to the Rav and said, Rav, I don't understand something. I'm a Talmid Chacham, I learn all day, and my kids are nunu. At best, they're nunu. And my neighbor, who's a butcher, he has such tremendous children, they're all G'dolim and Talmid Chachamim. What's pshat? He told him a very strong line. He said, you know why? Because when your kid used to come to you and ask you a kasha, and he said, look, the Rav said like this, what did you say? He said, the Rav. The Rav, no, I put the Rav in my small pocket, the Rav. He got a few tests from the Rabbanut and he thinks he's a rabbi already. But when the butcher, when his son said something about the Rav, the first thing the butcher said, wow, the rabbi said it, ooh, he gave a lot of covet, so the kid wanted to be like the rabbi. Makes a lot of sense. So be careful of the Amei Aretz, Shemem Teitzei Torah, but the Gemara is going to say, who's this Amei Aretz we're talking about? We're talking about the Rishayim, Haman, Sisera. But be careful. But nevertheless, we tell them this thing. We say, Tzadik ato Hashem ki orevei lecha. Ach mishpatim edaber oisach. Madua, why? Derech Rishayim tzalecha. I have to understand why the Rishayim, Nebuchadnezzar was matzliach to capture Yerushalayim. There's a song? Go. Oh, you're talking about Oed. Oed. It's a nice song. You have it? Dave, you have it? Okay, whatever. The editor will throw it in as we're talking. Madua. So something. It's a nice song. Madua derech Rishayim tzleicha. Shalu called boigdei bagid. Shalu is a lashon of shalva, of peacefulness. The boigdim. Oh. Just the madua. You have to just the madua. It's just like we missed you because they showed a Miami Boys choir. What was it? The Caleb. Were you on that one? Oh, it's not this. It's Madua. Same story. It's like singing Adirah, but when it says something completely different. Okay. I told you just Madua, no, and then nobody would know that it's not this pasuk. Madua derech Rishayim tzalecha, shalu kol bagdi vaged. All the traders, they live in peace. What's going on here? Netadim gam shiroshu, they planted and it took root. Yechu gam osuperi, my adrulay. So what did they tell? What did HaKadosh Baruch Hu say to Yirmiyah? Kis raglim ratzto vayalucha, vech tischare es asusim, uveres sholim atubeteach. The Gemara says, what does this mean? Rabbi boys, again, there's a lot of yisoids that we could take for our life, and this is one of them, a very, very important yisoid. A person says, I can run faster, quicker than a horse. Not only that, give me mud. I'll do it in the mud. I'm quicker than a horse in the mud. I can run distance. I can run 3 parsois. I don't know how many miles it is. 12 miles, whatever it is. One runner from Kenya shows up. The guy's running on nice pavement, not mud that's hard to run in, just and he gets exhausted, vanilla, after just 3 mil. Forget parsa. It's a fraction. It's a quarter, let's say, less than a quarter. There's 12 mil in 3 parsois. There's 4 mil per parsa. He only did 3 mil, nothing. So then they tell him, a human being you can't even beat in a race. You're going to beat a horse that can run 30, 40 miles an hour. And all you could do, your distance is terrible also. Forget the speed. Your distance, you only did 3 mil. You're on dry land, in nice deep mud. You're going to be able to run in mud. What are you talking about? I paid that Rosh Nebuchadnezzar because he went towards me and he was mechabed me 4 steps. You're wondering about the schar I gave him for the 4 steps? The avos who ran in front of me like horses. I think everybody can take that as a lesson for themselves. We do a lot more than the 4 psios that Nebuchadnezzar did. Mitzvahs and Torah, Yom Chesed. You can't imagine the schar. All my bones were shaking. Like a drunk. So what's going on? What are these 4 steps? We're going to explain why he has a funny name. Baladon, the son of Baladon, Melech Bavel Svarim. He sent gift and letters to Chizkiah. When Chizkiah became healthy, because Chizkiah, he was sick. And he became healthy. What's going on here? It says the Gemara in Lidroish HaMoifes Asher HaBaratz. He was curious to see the Moifes. What happened? I want to know why did he become healthy? Chizkiah's father, the Rasha Achaz, who the Gemara we learned. The Gemara says that Chizkiah dragged his bones in the street to be Mevaish his father. Hashem made a nace that the sun went down quickly. There's only 2 hours in the day, so nobody should be masked for him. And when Chizkiah got sick and then he became healthy, what happened? Remember the famous Gemara where, who was the Navi? I keep on forgetting. Yishayahu came and said, why don't you get married? He said, I can't get married because I see Baruch HaKodesh, I'm going to have bad children. He says, what are you getting involved in the Rebbeinu Shalom's business? Get married. I want to do tshuva. You can't do tshuva. It's too late. You're going to die. You can do tshuva. And at the end of the day, he davened. He was healed. Huh? Talking about the mechut. Right, that's right. I'll give you my daughter. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I missed? HaKadosh Baruch Hu put back like we saw a few times, or one time, the nature goes back. So if HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes back the sun by Yaakov Avinu, he puts it back, the day goes back to the full day. The degrees, Rashi describes, they had a sundial, and it suddenly went like this, it went back. But I need to know what's going on here. This is because the sun went down, went up, because Chizkiah was dying and he was saved. Omar, there's such a human being. I'm not going to send him my greetings. So they wrote a letter to him. The first thing in the letter was, Shalom to you, the king. Shalom to Yerushalayim, and then to Yerushalayim. And then at the end of the letter, Shalom l'Kol Rabbah, to the great Rebbeinu Shalom. Says the Gemara, Nebuchadnezzar, Safri de Baladan Hava. At that point, Nebuchadnezzar wasn't the king of the world. He was a cipher. He was the writer of the king. He so happened not to be there when they wrote the letter. Kiyasa, I guess a letter writer is somebody who knows. He's a poet. He knows how to write well. Tell me what you wrote in the letter. This is what we wrote. You're saying that he's the great Rebbeinu Shalom, and you put him at the end of the letter. Omar El Hachik Soivu. I want you to write it like this. Shalom le'elokar Rabba. First you put the Rebbeinu Shalom. Then you put Yerushalayim Shalom Kat Yerushalayim. At the bottom of the letter, Shalom Malki Chizkiyo. Amir Le, so they told him, Karyona di Garto, Ilevi Parvanko. The one who reads the letter, he should be the messenger. Where do we just have that? You look on the side, Daf. By Pinchas. What happened by Pinchas?
You're the one who remembers Hatzlacha, you kill him.
Yeah, by the Kanoim Poigim Boy. Givaldik. Rob Asrei. This is a very nice Maisa. What was that? Ooh, scared me. I don't think this is the first time I got scared. What was that, your Gartel? Wow. What happened? For the beard. Let me see that brush you have over there. Let me see the brush. Oh, it's an MDY brush. Check this out. It's not a joke. One day. Wow. No, I thought there was a snake here. All of a sudden, I saw this black thing and came back. Anyway, Bemis. So they say that the Stipler had a lot of Akar Satayv to a certain person that helped him out a lot with his Svarim and everything. And when he was getting older and he couldn't write anymore, when this guy wrote him a letter, he'd take a lot of time and sit down, Akar Satayv. When he was really old, this guy wrote him a letter. And the Stipler didn't have but he wrote it and it took him a very, very long time. He said, if this guy could go and help me, so now he needs my help, I should help him. He said such a certain Lashon. And when he was done with the letter, he called his grandson. He said, you sent the letter, bring it back. He says, I want to rewrite it. So they said, what? You want to? He says, I'm going to write it word for word, but this time with real Akar Satayv, not as a Yoitzezayin and so he sat there and he wrote the letter. And he has a sefer called Krayin de Igarta, but no connection to this. Says the Gemara, Rod Basrei. So the Nebuchadnezzar runs after the letter carrier, Kedirod Arba Psios, when he hit 4 steps. Also, Gabriel stopped him on the spot, didn't let him go any further because it would have been all over Klal Yisrael. On the side over here, he brings that it's only 3 steps. The Marshal also brings this, and he says in the Medrash, it says it's 3 steps. It says in the Marshal, that's why we go backwards 3 steps in Shemoneh Esrei. Have you ever thought about it? Because Nebuchadnezzar went 3 steps forward, we have to undo that and we go 3 steps backwards, and that's why the Machmirim shouldn't be Machmir to do 4 or 5 steps. They should only do 3 steps. L'chayra, right?
Yeah, you adding.
Huh?
It's you adding.
That's me adding, yeah. No, because 3 is for 3. If it was 4, it would be all over. So you don't do 4, you do 3. Okay. It's also to do 4. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm adding an Isser now. Yeah. Not in my Halacha Sefer, that's Stam. Yeah, Shkaya. Omer B'Yochanan. If Gabriel wouldn't stop him, Klal Yisrael wouldn't have a way out of this. So again, if we pause here for a second, this Rosh Marusha did a small act. He went 4 steps for the covet of the 100% was covet. He said, Hashem's name doesn't belong on the bottom, it belongs on the top. Great. But that is what created such a terrible thing for Klal Yisrael. And if he would have gone 1 more step, so you can imagine if we do kavana, we have good intent, and we do our mitzvahs, how much schar we bring. My Baladon ben Baladon, we have to understand this name. With the machlokes here, whether the Sephardim do use, they name their kids after themselves, they don't, the grandfather, whatever. But it's an interesting name, Baladon ben Baladon. Says the Gemara also, you can learn from this guy a tremendous thing. Amri, Baladon Malka Hava. Baladon was a king. Vishtani Ape, Vahava the Kalba. We even have a picture of how this happened. His face went from this is Baladon, it went to this. Imagine if this is what the king looked like. So they had to shelf the king, they had to put him on the side a little bit, until they had a refuah shlema, which he didn't. So his son took over. He gave his father a lot of honor. He felt bad for his father was the king. And he said, okay, my name is Baladon, the son of Baladon. He give him, not Bin Laden, Rabbi Isai, Baladon. Hainu d'chsiv ben Yichabedov ve'eved Adoinov. The pasuk talks about him, about the tremendous honor he gave his father. But what does it say? And a slave gave his master. So the Gemara said, what?
It was a rough day.
Oh, Ariel.
Barking up the wrong tree.
No, and now, you, what do you have? Nothing. Look at him. He says he's having a rough day. He's barking up the wrong tree. And now you, sick like a dog. Okay, no, just keep your jokes to yourselves. Zog the Gemara. Oh, he's married to the Gemara. You look like a dog. You ever saw these things? Seriously, I'm just thinking there's a lot of, they have pictures of the owners who look like their dogs. Yeah. You gotta show that. Like they have like curly hair and the dog is curly hair. What happened with the Hadamar? So Ben Yechabedov, we just said he gave tremendous honor to his father Hadamar. You see, by Esau, by this Goyim who Mechabed Av, it's a big thing. You can learn from them. And what about a slave and a master? The Siv. It said by Nebuzardon, Hishnas Chais Rishona Lamelch Nebuchadnezzar Melech Bavel is the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar. But Nebuzardon Ravat Abochem Omad Lefnei Melech Bavel Yerushalayim. This terrible butcher killed a lot of people. By Yisrael Beis Hashem, he destroyed the Beis Hamikdash, Beis Hamelech. As the Gemara, Daf Tzadik Bavim Beis. Umisalik Nebuchadnezzar Yerushalayim. Did Nebuchadnezzar actually come to Yerushalayim? Boksiv, when they caught Tzidkiyahu who ran away, and they brought Tzidkiyahu. V'yalu Oisoi El Melech Bavel Rivlasa. They brought him to Nebuchadnezzar in Rivlasa, which is not in Yerushalayim. They say in the art school, Antochia is like in Turkey, southern Turkey. Beis Hashem will be all part of Eretz Yisrael one day. Here there's a Geshmaka. This is what Nebuzardin did, Rabbi say. Burnt up the city with the Beis Hamikdash in the center. Nebuzardin had a picture of his boss, of Nebuchadnezzar, and like this he feared him. He had covet. He gave his master covet. And one said, no, he didn't even need a picture. It was as if he treated Nebuchadnezzar as if he was standing in front of him. Again, a lesson for us. How do we think about the Rebbeinu Shalom? How do we think about what? We don't need a picture. We have in front of us. That's what we should have. You can learn from a Basar V'Dam also. Turning up the Daf, sponsored by DAR Global, Experts in International Financial Services, by Doctors Alan and Barbara Listhouse, and remember my dear father Joseph Listhouse on its 45th yard site, Mordechai Yosef Ben Ariel Shalom. Lirfo as Rivka Henya Bashalamis, Lirfo as Tatino Gicheski Yedida Ben Nechama Shendol, Nat Life Realty Bet Shemesh, and Moshe Einhorn in honor of Reb Eli and the entire MDY family. Shkoyach. Amarava. Point Los Mel Kudniyaso Nargo. Nebuchadnezzar gave him 300 mules. Now, again, the number 300, and it says here on this daf in the Achronim that it's 300 is a lashon of a guzma, 400 is a lashon of a guzma, 60 is a lashon of a guzma. There's a few numbers that are guzmais, but 300 kudniyosa nargo de parzla. These are axes that are made out of metal. The shalom parzla is so strong; it's a type of metal that could break other metal. Shalom Nebuchadnezzar Nebuzardin, he gave it to Nebuzardin. Kulu belatinu chadosha de Yerushalayim. They went to, here's a picture. They took all these hundreds and hundreds of axes, tried them out on this one door, and they all broke. They couldn't do anything to the door. Shenemar, pituchei yochad bachshil v'chaleipois yahaloimun. So now imagine you're Nebuzardin, and all your soldiers go in and they hit the door with this metal that's against metal, and it just shatters. One after another. What is that? That's a nace. That's telling me that things are not looking good. And just like Sanhedrin lost all the soldiers, he thinks to himself, this is turning bad for me. Don't do to me, Hashem, what you did to Sanhedrin. So Baskel came out. You're a leaper, the son of a leaper. You're a jumper. You're a dunker. Dunker, the son of a dunker. Nebuzardin Shavar. You're Nebuzardin the dunker. The Matazimna the Mekacha Chariv. The Magdash Chariv. The time came for the Beis Hamikdash to be destroyed. Veichal Mikli, and the Heichal should be burnt. It says Gemara Pashli Chad Narga. He had one axe. So let's say there's an axe. So according to Rashi, the sharp part is in the tree, The dull part, the flat part, is on top. Excuse me. So to see if this is a nace going to happen, instead of using the sharp part, he decided to hit the door with the flat part, which usually doesn't do anything. He had one axe left. Also, machi bekoipa. Some Rishonim say he hit it with the wooden handle. The point is, he hit it with a weak part of the axe. Viftach, and the door flew open. Then he realized, oh, Hashem is with me to destroy the Beis Hamikdash. Shenemar, yivada kemevi lemola besvach eitz karduma. So it says even the word wood of the axe. Mendi's kardumas, yeah. Have a kotel v'ozal ad demotel leichala. That's a private joke in Bamitzia Daf what? Mendi oise karduma is something chav kuf chav ches. I don't know. Adi beinura. So he lights the fire in the Beis Hamikdash. Gova eichala. So the heichal of the Beis Hamikdash started rising up to Hashem. Dorchu beim Shemayim. So in Shemayim they stepped on it and pushed it right back down to the earth. Shenemar gas dorach. He stepped on it. Hashem lipsulas bas Yehuda. This is another song. Oh, that song. You mean a real literature song? Lipsulas bas Yehuda. So now this is human nature. You're doing well. Everything is going well. Everything's burning up. People are dying. You feel good about yourself. Oh, it's me. Nafku bas kolav amrlei. So Baskel came out and said, "Amo katilo katas shkoyach." He killed a bunch of dead people. Heichola kalis. Big deal. You burned a burning building. Kimcha tachnis. You just ground up a bunch of flour. Go take flour, put it in a grinder. Shkoyach. It's already ground up. What? It's already ground. Heichola kalis. Kimcha tachnis. Shenamar k'ri chayim. Take a grinder, and go grind flour. That's not a chachma. In other words, it was already meant to be. All these people were supposed to die. The Beis Hamikdash was supposed to burn. You're the shliach. Galitza mosech, show your braids. Chespi shoivel, gali shoik, ivri naharis. Chitim loy nemet. Doesn't say go grind wheat. Elokemach, only flour. Chazo demei de Zechariah davikorotach. Zechariah Hanavi was killed by the Jews 250 years earlier, and his blood, like in this picture, his blood was boiling. Now they tried to cover the blood with different things, and it never worked. It kept on boiling for 250 years. So he comes in there and he says, "What is going on here?" Omrulei, now they were scared, because if they would tell him we killed a Navi, so that would give him an excuse to kill them out. So they lied to him. They said, "Dam zvochem udishtapich." Well, you did karbanos and it spilled over here. Oh yeah, you think I'm a fool? Let's bring an animal, let's take some of its blood, and let's see if it's similar. They shechted some animals, and it wasn't similar. Now it does say that the blood of an animal, of a goat, is similar to human blood. We see by Yaakov Avinu, we see different things. Yosef. So one pshat I saw is that when you put it together, one next to the other, then it's not similar. Another pshat is that when you boil the blood, maybe it looks different. He wasn't sure, maybe it's boiled, so it looks different. So they put the animal blood and they boiled it up. Next to Yirmiyah's blood, it's boiled and it looked different. Which one do you like better? Which pshat? Zechariah. Which one do you like better? Both? Okay, good. The second one is my pshat. Overlo. Galili v'iloi sarikna l'chulib saraychu b'masreka de parzlo. I'm warning you right now. You tell me the truth, or I'll take a hot metal comb, like they did to Rebbe Kiva, and I'm going to put it on your skin. Omrulei, so okay, they gave in. Haikoyim v'navihu. This is the blood of a Kohen and a Navi from 250 years ago. The Navi Yisrael b'churban de Yerushalayim. Unbelievable. He said what's going to happen today. Right now, what's happening, he predicted 250 years ago. V'katlu, and they didn't like it and they killed him. Omar luhu, anoma feisinale. Don't worry, I'll make him feel good. I see Rabbanan katal levei. He took Rabbanan, Chachamim, Tamid Chachamim, and he killed them right over there, over the blood, and it kept them boiling. I said, Rav, so he brought kids from the Cheder, and he shechted them right over the blood. Nothing happened. I see Pirchei Kahuna, he took the youngsters, the Kohanim that can't perform Avodah yet, it didn't work. Adi Katat Levei, Tishim V'Arba Riboy V'Leinach. How much is Tishim V'Arba Riboy? 940,000 people, close to 1 million people. So then he went over to the blood. Zechariah. I killed so many, the best of the best, the children, the Tamid Chacham. Nichalach, daktelino lekulu. This is what you want me? You want me to kill every single one of them? Miyad nach. Stop boiling. Because Zechariah warned them. He says, if you're going to do this to me, I'm not going to forgive. He said as he was dying. Here, tshuva bedaite. Rabbi Yisai, listen to this. This is also another yisod. If we only get 1 or 2 yisods out of this daf, this Rasha Marusha killed over 1 million people, probably much more than 1 million. But just in this story alone, he killed 1 million. He could do tshuva. He was mahar b'tshuva. Listen, he was mahar b'tshuva. Omar mahem shelo yivdu el nefesh achas. These Jews only killed Zechariah, one person, kach, and this is the tremendous punishment of 1 million people dead. Au Gavra, this guy, Nuvuzardan, Mete Alei, what's going to be with me? Arak, he ran away. Shada Purtesa Lebese, he sent a will to his house. Vidgayer, and he became a full-fledged ger. Okay, if you can't get a lesson out of this, then I don't know what's going to happen. A guy. You do not Avera, we all do Averas. Going back to my friend who went off the derech because he didn't Avera and they told me yeshiva, there's no tshuva for it. There's no such thing. A guy killed 1 million people. And he's Mizgayer, and he had kids that learned Torah. Torah Rabbanan. Naaman Ger Toshavaya. The famous Naaman who came to Elisha for his saras, and he was very upset at Elisha because Elisha didn't even come to the door. Elisha told, go, dunk in that well over there, in that river. And he went, and he couldn't believe it. He saw Yad Hashem, nothing helped him. He goes into the water, the Navi knows what he's talking about, became a ger, but not a regular ger. Ger Taisha. In other words, he said, I'm not going to do Avodah Zarah anymore. Nevuzardan, but this Russia, 1 million Yidden, ger Tzedekaya. He's a full-fledged ger. Says the Gemara, B'nei Banav Shel Sisra, Limdu Torah B'Yerushalayim. I always read it, I think I always read it wrong. I always said, B'nei Banav Shel Haman, Lamdu or Limdu? What do you say? Lamdu, Limdu Torah b'Bnei Brak. You'll see that's Limdu, because we're talking about Rebbe Kiva. No, Rebbe Kiva came from Sisera. By me it says the same. By him it says Limdu. By me it says Limdu.
Switch it to Limdu from Aksav Yashem.
This was Lamdu.
Okay, but who came from Sisera? Let's figure it out. We're saying that Rebbe Kiva came from Sisera. Rebbe Kiva, and he was a Melamed. He was a teacher. He didn't learn. No. And the grandchildren of Sacherev limdu Torah b'Rabim. Here. Okay. But I have the same company as you. This is Oiz V'Hader also, and it says over here. All 3 of us, and it says limdu. Uman, this is Nur. Uman Ninu Shmai V'Avtalim, the famous Shmai V'Avtalim from the Zugas, Hillel and Shammai's Rabbeim. They were Gerim, and they taught Torah. Fine. So, who's this? Who came from Bnei Banav Shel Haman? Rav Shmuel Bar Shelas. It says on the side, and we had him in Ksubas. He was a Rebbe. He was a Melamed Dardiki. Okay. Bnei Banav Shel Yisir Rasha. Who's Yisir Rasha? Nachman Nebuchadnezzar. So before I forget, the Maggid do this says an unbelievable thing. Everybody should be asking themselves, how in the world did this Rasha Marusha called Haman have a kid, a grandchild learning Torah, teaching Torah? What's pshat? He says a beautiful mashal. He says the king's son was eating a nice steak, and he started choking, and he's going to die. And the king's enemy walks by, and he doesn't notice what's happening, but he sees the king's son. So he walks over to him and gives him like in yeshiva when you bend over to drink from the water fountain and your friend comes back and goes, boom. He does one of those booms on his back and he runs. He wanted to get the king's son real good. He sees him like buckled over. He didn't realize. He gave him a whack on his back and ran. But what happened was it dislodged the steak and he saved his life. So they come to the king and they say, listen, the guy saved your son's life. The king says, no, but he beat my son. He didn't do it to save him. He did it to hit him. So he said, but he saved his life. You've got a problem. So he says, you know what? This guy that hit it, I'm not going to do anything. But his grandchildren, I'm going to give them kol tuv sheba'olam. So it says, the Dubin Magid Haman, he was a Rosh Marusha, wanted to destroy Klal Yisrael. But guess what? He saved Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael did tshuva. They makabel Torah b'ahava. So himself, we can't do anything. He's a Rosh. He's a bad guy. But his grandchildren, that we have to give schar to. Yeah, so we said this. So the Malachim say, the guy that destroyed The Beis Hamikdash v'sarva zeicholecha. Tachlis tachlis kam v'shchina. You're going to let him come, his sons. Hanilsiv repinu es Bavel v'lo nirper. So we wanted to heal Bavel, but it didn't happen. Ula Omar Zenem Buchanetzar. Reb Shmuel Ben Achmeni Omar Elu Naharis Bavel. These are the rivers in Bavel. They have terrible drinking water. You can't drink from it. V'targama this in Yasa Tzridta de Bavloi. These palm trees that grow next to the rivers, you can't even eat the dates. They're terrible. Omar Ula Amanu Moav Shibave Bishidu Shleim Havu. The two nations, the terrible neighbors of Yerushalayim. Why? They cheated. Given the Shaminu and the Nevi, they come Yerushalayim. They lived close by, and they heard the Nevi'im screaming day after day, there's going to be a Churban, there's going to be a Churban. They told him, Nebuchadnezzar, come here quickly, it's a great time to destroy Yerushalayim. Omar. So Nebuchadnezzar says, no, I'm scared that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to do what he did to Zechariah. Everybody's dead. I was there. I witnessed it. So this is a pasuk. And it says in the pasuk that it's referring to a bad woman, a bad wife, who tells her neighbor, "My husband is not here. He went away. He went he's traveling for business. She wants to be chayta. He took his wallet. He took all his money. He's gone. So he's saying, because Baruch was not in his house. He's gone. Don't worry about it. He's not taking care of his wife, Klal Yisrael. Veinish, there's no man El HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ish is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shenemar Hashem Ish Muchama. Shalach Lehu. So he said, Bekrivu B'Vasi. Maybe he's close by. He left. You're right, but he's next door. And as soon as he hears his wife screaming, he'll come running to save her. Shalach Lehu. Halach B'Derech Merachi. No. He's very far. Shalach Lehu. Islu Tzadiki Devar Rachmi Maisulei. Maybe there's some tzadikim over there that will daven and they'll bring him. Shalach Lehu. Tzroya Kesef Lakach B'Yadai. No, he took the money. He took all. There's no tzaddikim left. They're all dead. Shenemar ve'ekra the Chamish Asa kasa. Chamish Asa is referring to the 15th of Nisan. I bought Klal Yisrael. I was mekadesh Klal Yisrael. They're my wife. Hashem says. Maybe there's some Rishonim, not tzaddikim. Rishonim, they'll do tshuva. Ubo rachmei u'meiselei, and by them begging for forgiveness, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will come and save Klal Yisrael. Shocholei kfar kovalem zman. Interesting, they don't say it right away. But the 70 years, Hashem is not coming back for 70 years. He already established a time period. And Kesa el Zman, we establish a time for our holiday. Yeah, excuses. Listen, it's winter, there's a lot of rain, a lot of snow. This is the best I could do. I found this picture, I thought it was pretty cool. Use this. Here, look, there's a road, but there's a cliff. On the bottom of the mountain, just hide under the cliffs. You'll go. You won't have rain. You won't have snow. Shachlu, shenema shilchu kar moishel eretz misela midbara el harba sion going to Yerushalayim. Shachlu yasina. If I do come, let's do duchta yasina. Where am I going to sleep? I have a big army. I'm coming with millions. Shachulei kfar shalahem. The Jewish cemeteries mu'ulim and baltreim shecha. They're nicer than your castle. The Chsiv. It's referring to the caves that the Jews buried in. They put him out in the sun. You can stay in the caves. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.